Okay, so hello, thank you for coming to this event. I think many of you already know Fareedom Taamallahom, basically everybody I imagine, but anyway, I will introduce you very briefly anyway. Okay, so Fareed is our, I don't know, 10-year-old friend. I mean, has been a friend for 10 years. Very intelligent for a 10-year-old. He was first our guest back in 2017, I think, and then has been coming back regularly. The last time was last year, for exactly in the same period, in May, right? He's a journalist living in Ramale, but in fact, by passion and instinct, a farmer from the village of Kira, where he was born. He's also the author of a book on Kira, from an historical and ethnographical point of view, especially. He is also very well learned on Palestinian heritage. So, you know, many interests, but also a very, very good speaker, I would say. So this means that I will just give him 4 open-ended questions just to have a short interruption now and then, but I will let you speak as much as possible and just go in any direction you like, okay? So I'll start, is that okay? Yes. So, as I mentioned before, he was here last time a year ago, okay? So the first thing I wanted to ask you, okay, considering what has been going on in the last year, can you make a comparison in terms of the situation, not only in Palestine, obviously, but by this time we are kind of escalating the situation. So it's even outside the Arab world, because now we are also in Iran, which is not even anymore the Arab world. So if you could make an analysis and a comparison, like from last year you were here and what you can say now.
Yeah, thank you, Nada. And thank you everyone who is coming to this talk. Actually, I feel in Ljubljana, I feel I am home. I'm like in Ramallah, simply because I have many friends. And every time I come here, I meet new friends. So today I met also new friends here. So I'm always happy to have new friends and come back to Ljubljana. And even this officer in the airport, she knows me. And when she saw me, hey, you came back, welcome back. I feel that she wanted to say that because she saw me and yeah, she was not surprised to see a Palestinian. And then, yalla, go. Your friend is waiting. I said, yes, and then go. So I feel home here in Ljubljana. I like the country. Maybe you know why I like the country, because it's obvious. It's a green country, clean country, warm people, at least the people that I know. And I feel that it's like a small country located in a very important, you can visit like many countries in one day, which is like not impossible. In my country, traveling through the borders is something unimaginable. The fact that you can go to Croatia or to Hungary or to Austria in one day, or to Trieste, this is amazing, really, because the situation in Palestine is always it's the opposite. I mean, it is not that it's very difficult to travel from Palestine to abroad, but also traveling within Palestine is very difficult. I mean, my village is located 50 kilometers from Ramallah, where I live. And in certain times, I cannot access to the village. Sometimes it takes 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes it is 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Sometimes I cannot access to the village. So the most difficult thing right now is the 900 checkpoints that we have. You know, Palestine is small. It's like Slovenia, and even maybe smaller. So the West Bank is like, let's say, 5,000 kilometers. And we have around 950 checkpoints and gates. So if you calculate this, it means that like every 5 kilometers, you have a checkpoint or a gate or a block. And that turns our life into hell. The case is that we are not allowed to use the main roads in certain days, while the settlers are traveling freely. They can go anywhere, but we are stuck in our small communities. So this is the biggest, I think, one of the biggest challenges. The other big challenge that settlers attacks. Settlers have been always violent, but the last like few years they are becoming more furious, more violent, more. They have this courage and boldness to attack during the day. And like last week, a village next to Ramallah, a settler with gun, he came to the school, and he shot 2 kids. And that's why they are courage. They have this courage because there is no punishment. I mean, he was filmed, and I mean, it's not like something happened. Anonymous one came and shot, and he escaped. It was filmed from A to Z, the whole thing. But he will never be like persecuted or taken to the court. And then the Israelis will find like a reason and say they know he was under certain conditions. Somebody attacked him, or he was in danger, so he shot because he was defending himself. It's like this. So if I want to answer your question directly, what happened or what is the difference between last year and today? It is, I can say, accelerating. I mean, everything is being accelerated. You feel that we cannot catch our breath. We cannot like, it is like every day, it's becoming like more frequent, more bold, everywhere, from Masafar Yatta in the south to Jenin in the north. These attacks are taking place everywhere. Even my village, which I consider as like a hidden small village, they started to reach my village. So this is the other thing. The third is that the war on Iran is like, let's say, diverted the attention from the Palestinian issue and the Gaza issue toward Iran and America. So now nobody speaks in the news about what is happening in the West Bank and in Gaza. And during the war, there's something funny in Palestine, that when the sirens blaring that there is a rocket coming, the Israelis, they go to the shelters and they hide. Guess what the Palestinians they do? They go to the rooftops to see the rockets falling in Israel to be happy. It's like fireworks for them. So, and that causes a lot of damages for Palestinians. First of all, you know that the West Bank, the Palestinian territories, most likely they are in the eastern side of the country. So when the missiles coming from Iran through Jordan, they come to the West Bank before they hit their targets. And usually the Israelis, they intercept and they get these rockets down over the West Bank because they consider it as an open area. They don't care. So usually they calculate, they have this calculation that they intercept and they get the rockets fall down in open areas or in the Palestinian territories. So like many Palestinians were killed because of these shrapnels coming from the sky. And because all the Palestinians are on the rooftops, most likely they are, and we have in Ramallah, we have, because Ramallah is like a big mountain and you can see the coast, you can see Tel Aviv by your eyes. So people at the evening, they go there and they sit having coffee, smoking and waiting the rockets to come, and then they see the rockets. I can understand the reason behind that, because it is one of the few opportunities that we can see that somebody is hitting Israel. It is like, it is not like that we like these rockets to come, but we have this anger that we need to see something happening for what they are doing. So during the war, because the media attention is going to Iran and to the war in Iran, so the settlers took the advantage of that as well. So when the sirens are blaring, settlers will attack Palestinian villages, and they will take the advantage of the curfew and such stuff. And they are stealing sheep. Now the type of settlers are becoming more savage. I mean, they are vulgar. I mean, they come and they steal the donkey or they steal the sheep. And they are very cheap. I mean, they are trying to make money out of this. It is not like ideology. It's not but ideology, but also it is becoming like economic thing. So I always say like this: imagine that a settler, an Israeli who is like, let's say, poor or ordinary people, and he has this opportunity. If he goes to the West Bank and take the land, now it will be like maybe he will have like a small risk doing that. But in a few years, he will become a millionaire because simply he will own this land. Now they have this new law in Israel. They enacted the last year or few years ago. The Israeli army comes and they said, okay, this area, this 500 hectares, for instance, are for grazing. It's like pastoral area. So we are not taking it. It's for the Palestinians, but the Israeli shepherds are allowed to graze their sheep here and their cattle. So this is for temporary time. So this is the first step. The second step is that they are not allowing the Palestinian shepherds to graze there because it's for security reasons, because they cannot mix the Israeli shepherds with Palestinian shepherds. They will be like risky for the Israelis. And within a few years, because the settler is using the land, let's say like 100 hectares of land, and according to the law, he can claim the land. And then he will become a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. When you own like 500 dunams, it is like millions of dollars. So now, I mean, the mentality, it's not only about ideology that they want because this is the promised land, but also it's becoming economic interest for these people in taking over the land. And the settlers, they are not civilians, they are army. I mean, they are soldiers. But they are in the settlement or they attack with the civil dress because they are off that day. But they are settlers, they are army. And also the army is watching everything. So they see what is happening. They don't interfere unless the Palestinians try to defend themselves. And then the army comes. And of course he comes to shoot the Palestinians, not to be in the middle. Also, there was a story, it is not like a special story, but it happens every day, that like in a village next to Ramallah, like 6 months ago, the settlers attacked the village at night, and then the people defended themselves by stones, by knives, whatever they have, and then they killed one of these settlers who are attacking the village. And the next day, the Israeli army came, they besieged the whole village. They didn't allow anybody to get in, and then they came and they uprooted 30,000 trees in one night. 30 olive tree. They took them in one night. They came and they said, okay, all this area where the settlers attacked and the settler was killed, this area is a military area, and they erased 30,000 trees in one night, the army. So the message that is given to the farmers, to the Palestinian farmers, that don't defend yourself. So as if we are requested to be slaughtered in silence. So if we defend ourselves, they will punish. If we don't, we are already punished. At the same time, this is in the countryside, which is usually the main target of the settlers and the Israeli army. If you want to talk about the urban areas, the cities, it is surrounded. It is. I was telling Nada yesterday that they keep move, like let's say in Ramallah, because every Palestinian community, regardless it's like a city, a camp, or a village, or even a small, very small, tiny village, there is a gate. So Palestinians cannot move freely. They open the gate, they close the gate whenever, and Tia, you know that. So the Palestinian cities also are locked. I mean, they have gates. Like imagine like a city like Ramallah, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, around 6 gates. All the entrances to Ramallah they have a gate. And these gates are in the entrance of Ramallah, or the city. And then the Israelis discovered that because they are closing the gates, that means if you are coming to Ramallah from the main road, you will stop in a long queue. And that will disturb the traffic for settlers. So this is a problem. So what they're doing now, they are moving the gates to be inside the city, or toward the city. And then this long queue will not disturb the settlers, and because their time is very precious. So even these checkpoints are being like strangling the cities. So the people in the city, they don't have access to food in the countryside, and the people in the countryside, they had plenty of food and production, but they cannot access to or take or transport to the cities. Yep.
Yeah, I just remember something on this point here. If you could maybe expand. Now you spoke the way this fact of strangling the cities doesn't allow, for example, for an economic exchange or a movement, etc. But you were explaining to me that it also influences the idea of unity between people. Can you just explain that?
Yes. Yeah. So for instance, this is very important. That we psychologically, Palestinians, we start to feel that we are not one people, because we are divided into small communities. So you feel that the people in Jenin are fighting on their own. They are fighting the Israelis on their territory. And the people in Nablus, same. Hebron, the same. In the countryside, every village is surrounded. I mean, usually villages are very close to each other. Now it's cut off. It's like cutting off all. So if the settlers attack this village, the people of the next village cannot access to the village to help or to do something for them. And we start to feel that every community is trying for salvation. Everyone is looking for his own salvation. So we cannot in Hebron is something, or Jenin, because Ramallah in the middle. So Jenin is the far north, and Hebron. For me, coming to Ljubljana is easier than going to Hebron or to Jenin. You feel it's like a different planet. So if you plan to go to Jenin from Ramallah, you will cross at least, I cannot count how many checkpoints you need to check to cross. And most likely you cannot make it in one day. So because if you manage to access this checkpoint, it means maybe the next checkpoint will be closed and you have to wait. And the Israeli army is very brutal on the checkpoints, especially during the war. They were very angry when there are rockets falling, and then they see the Palestinians, and all their anger is expressed in their deal with the Palestinian on the checkpoints, and even in the Gaza war, those because these battalions fighting in Gaza, they change them every time because they are exhausted. They bring them to the West Bank, and they are in the checkpoints, and they have this anger and this hatred. You can see it in their eyes, how they are reacting. They are just looking for any reason to shoot people. I mean, also Jerusalem is like 10 kilometers from Ramallah, but it's inaccessible. We cannot, I mean, it's impossible to cross to Jerusalem because there is a wall and there is a checkpoint. You need a special permit, and then it's not accessible. And always I say like this, if you ask any child in the West Bank, what is your dream? He will say, I will to go to the sea. Even though the sea is like 20 kilometers. We can see it from Ramallah. If you stand in one place in Ramallah, you can see the sea, but you cannot access the sea. In Gaza, if you ask the child in Gaza, what is your dream? He say to see a mountain, because Gaza is like a coast area, and there is no. They had never been out of the Gaza Strip.
Okay. changing a little bit to a different topic, but in a way still connected to the settlers. We said that this escalation of the aggression and on the part of the settlers is strictly connected, really, to the beginning of the genocide. Okay, and I think, in a way, also the condition of the political prisoners in detention. The conditions, I mean, which have also worsened consistently, are also in a way a consequence of the beginning of the genocide. So if you could explain a little bit the situation, but also we didn't mention the role of especially Ben-Gvir and Smotrich in this worsening of the situation, also of the political prisoners, which is quite explicit, also with introduction with the new law of the death penalty, right?
Yes. When Ben-Gvir came to became a minister, the first thing he said that I will stop the summer camps. He sees the prison, the Israeli prison, as summer camp, which means that there is a lot of luxury for Palestinian prisoners in the Israeli prison. So his motto, his slogan was, I will stop this summer camp. And he started with this mentality that Palestinians in the Israeli prison are enjoying food, they are enjoying their life, while they should be sent to death. And he started this starvation process to calculate how many calories is needed just to keep alive. And he even started that before the war. I mean, before the Gaza war. So that was his motto, and you know that he has this. He is the minister of national security. So he is, according to the law, he is responsible. It's like the prisons, the jails are under his mandate. So he is the one who is his ministry is responsible for dealing and running the police. And he started the process of. First is to reduce the amount of food they are giving for the prisoners, and to reduce the time that they can see the sun during the day, and also to put more prisoners in one cell. I mean, to jam, to be like to squeeze them. I mean, and then when the war in Gaza started. This was a good opportunity for him and for the Israeli government to justify all these atrocities against the prisoners. And then they have this Sidi Timan prison for the Gaza people. So they arrest people from Gaza. We don't know how many people from Gaza are in arrest now. Thousands. Even the Red Cross, they cannot visit them. So we have no information about their conditions. How many people are they alive or dead? So the people of Gaza is a different story. So they are kept like away from the West Bank. The West Bank prisoners, now we have around, I think, I don't know to give a number, but something like more than 10,000 people now in the Israeli prison. And this is like, let's say, double the capacity of the prisons itself. I mean, so they are hijacking people. My friends who come out from the prison, the last one was Ali Sammoudi a few days ago. He's a journalist. He was taken to prison. He was with Shireen Abu Aqli when she killed. They arrested him and they put him in administrative detention, which is without any charge. They can put you in the prison and without any charge for unlimited time. So he came after, I think, 2 years, and when he was arrested, he was, let's say, 90 kilograms, and now he was 40 kilograms. He lost like 50 kilograms of his weight in the prison. And you feel that he is coming from the mid-ages. I mean, they don't shave, they don't have showers, a lot of skin diseases and skin problems. And now they enacted the new law of death penalty. Now they will enact. I don't know if they will do it retroactively or is it will from today, because this is not clear yet. But I saw Ben Gvir a few days ago. He was celebrating. He was doing barbecue in front of the media, and he was like happy that he's eating barbecue, having barbecue while he's starving. And he says that they are starving in the prison, and I'm eating barbecue. It's like this, and it's very vulgar, a vulgar way of showing this hatred against the Palestinians in general.
Okay. Do you want to ask questions now? According to the topics, or do you prefer, like, if you had any question now for prisoners, or because we're changing topics, that's why I'm asking if you would prefer. Okay. The next topic we said we would talk about is the economic situation. So the collapse, literally, of the economic situation and the reasons behind it. And this started before the war, really, the fact of retaining the taxes. So if you could explain a little bit that and what it means in all sections, let's say, of economy, not only the state section, but also the private. Then also the fact that many Palestinians used to go to work in Israel. Now all this has finished, what this means for the families, etc. If you could give us a highlight.
So generally speaking, the Palestinian economy is depending or is built on, let's say, three pillars, three main pillars. The first one is the Palestinian government, the public servants. So the Palestinian Authority is one of the biggest employer. And the second one is the Palestinian workers in Israel. And the third one is the private sector, the private business. So for the workers who are working in Israel, they are around, I think, 250,000 workers who used to go every morning, commute to Israel at the morning and coming back at the end of the day. They work in Israel, but they live in the West Bank. I mean, they go every day and come. Since the October 7th, Israel decided to stop all the Palestinian workers. So it's not, they don't give permits, they just give permits for the medical workers, the doctors, the nurses. I mean, they are selecting what sectors they need to hire. So agriculture and medical sectors are still working. They are like Palestinians go and come. But the other sectors like constructions, which is the biggest employer, it's stopped. And they are bringing workers from India, I think, Nepal, from Asia. I mean, 250,000 Palestinians is suddenly in one day, they became unemployed. So this is the first pillar. The second one is the Palestinian Authority, the government, which is employs around 180,000 employees. Since even before October, since the corona, the Israelis are not giving back the tax refunds. I don't know if you understand how it works in Palestine. You know? Okay, I will explain it briefly. Palestine is not a state. We are autonomy. We are under the Israeli, let's say, customs system. So if anything should be imported or exported to or from Palestine, should go through Israeli company. So if I want to export my olive oil, I should go through Israeli company. If I want to import anything from outside, it should come through Israeli company to the Israeli customs, and then they clear it and they send it to the Palestinians. And the VAT tax is collected by Israel. They are 16%, this VAT, 16% in Palestine. Every good, all the commodities coming from outside to Palestine, this tax is collected by Israel. And according to the Paris Agreement, it should be given to the Palestinian Authority. And they take like 2% or 3% of this as tuition for this service. So every month there is this tax refund. So Israel gives the Palestinian government all the refunds. This is how it used to be or should be. But since October 7th or even before, since the corona, since this government came to power in 2022, Israel, this is Smotrich again, Ben-Gvir prisoners, Smotrich is the Minister of Finance, he decided to stop giving the refunds to the Palestinian Authority. And these refunds constitute like, let's say, 75% of the budget, the annual budget of the Palestinian government. So that means that they are not being able to provide the basic services like education, healthcare, and welfare thing. I don't know what is welfare in Palestine, but let's say we have welfare services. And also they cannot pay the salaries for the public servants. And since 2022, the Palestinian public servants are getting 50-60% of the salaries. And the last month, even this, the government is not able to they paid like 2,000 shekels for every employee, regardless of his, which means like less than 50%. So that leads that to that the first victim of that is the education and the healthcare. So now in the schools, the public schools, the students go to the school 2 or 3 days a week because the teachers, they cannot afford commuting every day from their houses to their schools, and the parents also cannot afford that. On the healthcare, there are a lot of medicine is not available. So if like a sick man or woman goes to the public clinic, he will most probably find just like Panadol or small things, but the serious, the important treatment is not available. And also the medical team is working 2 or 3 days a week. So the surgery is postponed. Like if you need to do like appendix surgery, you need to wait like 2 years maybe, unless it's emergency. So the whole thing is about let's say they are working like half of the working days, like 2 or 3 days for the sector, and that is also because this money, usually these salaries are injected in the economy. So the other services like the private sector now, which is the third pillar, is suffering because first the government cannot pay the contracts. They cannot pay them, like for these companies who are providing medicine, for instance. The billions of dollars now, the government cannot pay them this. Also the contractors, the banks, the big companies are suffering because simply the workers in Israel and the public servants are getting their salaries. So the private sector also is collapsing right now. And there is nothing in the horizon that shows that this will end soon. And the Arab countries who used to provide some donations to the Palestinian people, they stopped doing that because they said that the Palestinian Authority is corrupted, and but this is not the case. Of course, it's not the reason. It is not like there is corruption in the Palestinian Authority, but this is not the real reason behind not paying back, simply because America said no. And the EU, which is considered as the biggest donor to the Palestinian government, they stopped paying for the Palestinian Authority because for many reasons. One of them is there is no democracy in Palestine. This is the one they talk about, and there is corruption. And there are smaller reasons, declared reasons, but they don't talk about it in the media. One of them is the Palestinian textbooks. The EU did like a study in 2022 on the Palestinian textbooks and the school textbooks, the curriculum, and they discovered that these curriculums and textbooks are inciting against Israel, and they are encouraging terrorism. And all what is happening now is because of the Palestinian textbooks. It's not because of the settlers and the settlements, but because these textbooks are educating the Palestinians to fight against Israel, or to resist the occupation, and to hate the Jews, and to be like racist against them. So the EU told the Palestinian Authority that we are not going to pay any money for the Palestinian government unless you change the textbooks. And now, guess what? The Palestinian government is changing the books, the textbooks. So now they are reviewing the whole thing, and they will remove anything related to historic Palestine. So we used to learn in the school that historic Palestine was this, and then now Palestine is the West Bank and Gaza. And they talk about the right of return, refugees, about right to resist the occupation. Now the government is changing this, and it will be more soft. So if you ask, I don't know how they will ask them geography. If they ask them to write the map, I don't know how they will manage with this. So now they are changing the whole thing, especially the religion thing. I am happy that they will change it. And the second thing is about geography. And I think we have Tarbiya Wataniya, what is it? National studies or something like this. They will change this. This is the first target of the whole thing. Civil education or something like this. So now I think next year, next semester, the next one, we will see the books. And because now nobody knows what they are doing now. Because they have this we have German advisors in the Ministry of Education. Yes. So they are working, and we'll see. I will let you know. I will tell you, Nadan, then you can tell them what are the new textbooks are going to be.
I think there were other conditions as well, in order to get funds. Basically, we're talking about the EU starting again funding the PA, right?
Yeah.
So one condition was this about the textbooks, but weren't there some other conditions in order to show that it's a democratic state? Wasn't something connected with elections, which have just happened?
Yeah, they also are pushing the Palestinian Authority to have elections. And this is good. But the bad news is that doing the elections under occupation is not something easy. Simply that, given this fact that the Palestinian territories are completely separated, so the EU is requesting that the Palestinian Authority should do elections, general elections, but Hamas should not be part of these elections. The BFLB and leftist parties should not be in these elections. They are not eligible. They should not be eligible. So what happened is that the President Abbas, he amended the electoral law, and now, in order to run the elections, you should be recognizing the PLO as the legitimate representative of the Palestinian people, number one. Number two, to admit and to respect all the agreements signed by the BA with Israel, which means Oslo Agreement and Paris Agreement. And number three is to adhere to the international legitimacy. I don't know what is international legitimacy.
International law or international?
No, not law. This is like vague phrase, international legitimacy. I think it means that to adhere to the UN security resolutions, something like this. So doing elections is something good, but if you are asking or you are putting pressure to prevent like 2/3 of the Palestinian people from running elections, I'm not sure if this is democracy. So now they are going. I think they are going. President Abbas will call for elections. Or he already called for BNC elections for the Palestinian National Council, and they will call for elections, but it will be like one man show. I mean, it will be only Fatah running elections against themselves. And we have this joke about these elections. It will be like someone is playing cards with his fiancée, with his like girlfriend. It's like this. So it will not be a serious elections if they are going to enact or to implement this law.
But the elections that have just been, what about those?
Yeah, we had local elections, municipal elections, the last 2 weeks ago. This elections is taking place every 4 years. There is no problem. It's because it's like about localities. Every locality is separate, so it doesn't need like to have this. Let's say it's not like the national elections that it should be like in one day everywhere, etc. So the Palestinian Authority they did this election. It was a success, I think, because these elections were did in the West Bank mainly, but for the first time it was carried out also in Gaza. And it took place only in one municipality in Gaza, in Deir al-Balah, because Deir al-Balah is I see Wafa Muhammad here. We are talking about Gaza, but they just came in, so so the elections took place in in Deir al-Balah. Deir al-Balah is the less damaged city in the Gaza Strip, and the Elections Commission, the Palestinian Elections Commission, chose to do the elections in Deir al-Balah as like a pilot. If it succeeded to do that, they will do it later. The good story about this, because it's good always to give a success story at the end of, because I see everybody is like gloomy because of all what is happening. But there is a small good story about these elections. The elections in Gaza needs, logistic-wise, needs that the ballot boxes should be transported from Ramallah to Deir al-Balah. And the ballot boxes, the ballot papers, everything related, the ballot material. And from the beginning, the Elections Commission of Palestine know that the Israelis will not allow these ballot boxes to cross to Gaza, of course, because it needs Israeli permit. And then the UN and the Europeans, they were mediating with Israel to allow the ballot boxes going from Ramallah to through Gogat, but there was no answer. Not yes, not no. Every time the EU asked Israel, what happened with this coordination, this permit, they said, we're still waiting the government. This is the decision of Netanyahu, should be done. And then the Central Elections Commission, they did Plan B. Plan B is to manufacture all these ballot boxes and ballot papers, everything manufactured in Deir al-Balah, in Gaza. Even though there is nothing almost in Deir al-Balah, there is nothing, they have no manufacturers, nothing to do, like it's very difficult to do that. So they needed like 100 ballot box. So they went to one of these carpenters in Gaza and said, can you do it? He said, give me the size, what is the dimensions of what you need. And then he said, okay, I can do it. And then he brought like this recycled wood with recycled plastic to be like transparent, wood and plastic, and he did that. But the Elections Commission did not announce that we have Plan B in order to keep the pressure on Israel. And the Israelis, the elections was Saturday, 25th of April. And until Friday, the Israelis did not give any answer. And that was very clear for the Europeans, to the UN, to the Palestinian public in general, that elections would be cancelled in Gaza. And the next day, and also they did another thing, that because usually, the ballot, the polling centers are the schools, most likely, and the schools is inhabited by displaced people. So the Elections Commission in Deir al-Balah, they rented like open areas, spaces, and they rented tents. And they hired a private security company to provide the security for the whole thing. And the next day, the polling centers were open in the West Bank at 7, and everybody was surprised that the polling centers opened at the same time in Gaza, and everyone discovered that there was ballot boxes and ballot papers, and there was polling centers ready at time, but we had to stop the polling day on 5 p.m. because to do the counting at the daylight because there is no electricity. And it worked very well, and it was very successful elections in Deir al-Balah. People went there, and the elections took place, and the results are out. And yesterday, the new elected mayor and the elected members of the council, they started working yesterday. I will show you now a video about this to finish my presentation with.
الحكاية محورها صندوق شكله عادي بس جواه أشياء أكبر بكتير، صوت الناس وأملهم بالتغيير. في دير البلح الصندوق كان سؤال حقيقي، كيف بده الصوت يوصل إذا الطريق مسكرة؟ زمان كانت الصناديق تيجي من الضفة تقطع المسافة وتوصل، بس هالمرة الطريق توقفت والصناديق ما قدرت تدخل. لحظة كان ممكن تخلي كل شي يوقف، بس اللي صار كان العكس تماماً. من خشب بسيط معاد تدويره وبلاستيك شفاف ومن أيادي ناس مؤمنة بهالبلد بلش الصندوق يتشكل. كل دقة كانت فيها معنى، وكل تفصيلة كانت بتقول إحنا موجودين وإحنا مكملين. 100 صندوق صنعنا فيها حكاية نرويها للأجيال، حكاية ناس ما بيستنوا الطريق ينفتح بيفتحوه بإيديهم. 100 صندوق مش مجرد وسيلة بل رسالة إنه مهما صار مهما تسكرت الطرق صوت الناس بهالبلد إله طريق.
So I think we can stop here on this more positive note, as you said, okay, which we needed. And so we open to Q&A now, right? Yeah. Okay, so any questions?
Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about how children go or not go to school in the West Bank?
Yeah, the children, they go to the school, but not on daily basis like everywhere. They go like 2 or 3 days a week. And this is also a problem for the mothers. This is a nightmare for the mothers that the children are staying at home for 2 or 3 days. And even these 2-3 days, I think part of them, I think they go 2 days face-to-face. I mean, physically they go to the school, and 1 day it is online. And this is online thing is also a big issue. And also the universities are also disturbed. The life in the university is not easy. My daughter spent 4 years, the last 4 years in the university. She told me that if she calculates the days that she spent in the university, it will be like 1 semester. Most of these 4 years were either Corona and then the war and then this like financial crisis. So yeah, and I think this generation, from 2020 until today, they had really big problem with educational wise. I mean, education is not being very well. Palestine were well known for education. For educated people are educated, generally speaking. Illiteracy is like 0.5 in Palestine, while, for instance, if we want to compare to Jordan or to other, it's like 20%, 30%, and some, like in Algeria, I think it's something 50%. So in Palestine, it's 0.5. It used to be like, I mean, Palestinians used to be like well-educated people, but I think this is changing a little bit now.
Assalamu alaikum. For a year now, I was thinking something was bothering me. If I am living in West Bank or I'm living in Gaza, how is my feeling about the 7th of October? I don't know. Sinwar said that with or without 7th of October, Israel was going to do what she did. Maybe not that fast like now, but eventually in the end she was going to do the same. But how the feeling for the people in Gaza? You feel that they are against it this 7th of October, they regret it, or they feel like the resistance have a cost? That's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a hard question because not all the Palestinian people think the same. We are like here in Slovenia. People are divided on everything, you imagine. So people in the West Bank, also in the West Bank, they are different from the people in Gaza because the people in Gaza are the ones who are suffering a lot more than the West Bankers. So I cannot answer this question about Gaza, but I will tell you what my friends say in Gaza. I was in Gaza 1 year before October 7. The last time I went to Gaza was October 2022. And the life in Gaza was hell. I mean, it wasn't this life. It was blocked. There was no starvation in that time, but I mean, people they are unemployed. They have no jobs. They cannot travel outside. Going into Gaza, I need like a permit through the UNDP, the UN, to do like me a permit to go to Gaza for 2 days. So the life in Gaza was not like paradise. It was a really shit life, even before the October 7th. But October 7th, let's say, accelerated and it was like all done in 2 years. I mean, the whole thing was accelerated in Gaza. So what I hear from my friends in Gaza, that people are, they are not, most of the people are against it and they hate Sinwar and Hamas and they think that they destroyed the Palestinian people or they caused the destruction of the Palestinian people. But on the other side, there are still people, maybe they are minority, but still people are thinking that we have the right to resist and this is Israel's fault and they are still supporting Hamas and what happened. In the West Bank, it is the opposite. The majority of the Palestinians in the West Bank are supporting, let's say if we do elections today, Hamas will win in the West Bank for sure, but they will lose in Gaza. Because the Palestinian Authority is not popular in the West Bank, people they don't like because they are very soft. I mean, they are surrendered. They consider Palestinians in the West Bank think that the Palestinian government is corrupted. They are collaborating with Israel. They are not resisting enough. So if there is elections in the West Bank, Abbas will lose for sure. He will not get 5% of the votes, I think. But again, in the West Bank also, there are some people who are opposing the October 7th and think this is like a crazy thing, stupid thing. You cannot how to say that? You cannot just like bother the lion and that's it. Either you kill the lion or you keep silent. This is what people think about it.
Voilà. Yeah, just to continue from Fareed and to give you another point of view, yeah, because I'm a Palestinian who came from Gaza 5 years ago, and I came and I decided to leave Gaza before October 7th, because as Fareed said, life there was not, we were not living in a heaven, we were also living under Israeli occupation, we were living under tight blockade, and because I did not want to lose my children. I did not want to see them just killed with an F-16 bomb, US made by Israeli soldier or a warplane, and to be scattered into pieces. I decided to leave. So all of this happened before 5 years ago. So it was 3 years before October 7th. But what I can add, because I also have still my family there, I have friends there, and I'm talking to them every day. At this moment, We don't want any of the Palestinian parties, but definitely we don't want Israel. We don't want Israeli occupation. This is our main problem. We just want that the world understand this is what we want and to leave us decide what we want at the end. We don't have the right of the self-determination. Everyone is just deciding on our behalf. Everyone is just doing stuff on our behalf, and nobody is asking the Palestinians what they want. We want to live in our country, on our land, with dignity, with independence. This is very simple. And the easy way to do this is to end the Israeli occupation, to stop the Israeli occupation. This is what should happen. And after that, we can start to talk about the Palestinian parties. And I can tell you, as a young Palestinian woman, I don't believe in Hamas. I don't believe in Fatah. I don't believe in any of the Palestinian parties. I believe on my people, on the young generation, that they will do what they should do. This is what I believe in.
شكرا وفاء. Yeah, I generally speaking, I live in Ramallah. I live in the occupied territories, and people, they don't like to leave the country, neither in Gaza, not in the West Bank. And then, but we are pushed to do that. I mean, last year during the war, I prepared my documents and papers, and Ursha knows that I prepared everything in one bag because I felt for a moment that the Israelis will come, they will put the Palestinians in buses, and they will take them to Jordan. It can happen. What happened in Gaza taught us that everything can happen now, and live. It can happen in front of the whole world, and nobody will do anything. So people, they like to stay in their country, and they want to stay. And I think now, at the time being, the fact that we are still in our land is very important, because this is the last thing we can do. It's the least, but the last thing also that we can do. And we just need Europe and the international community to help to end the occupation. And then we don't want to come to Europe, to immigrate to Europe. This should be clear, because many people here think that the Palestinians, they want to leave their country and to come to Europe to have good jobs and etc. No, we don't like this. We like to come to visit Europe, but I personally, I don't like to live in Europe, because I was raised and lived and I have my life, my kids, my future. I plan for the future in Palestine, but I hope that I will not be pushed to leave the country one day. So what we need, as Wafa said, that we need to help to end the occupation, and that's it. We don't need to be migrants everywhere. We like to stay in our country. Palestine is very beautiful. I'm always said like this. I hate that I'm coming here just to talk about the bad things in Palestine. And I really don't think that this is like something make me feel happy because I express my anger. I have many things else that we are proud of in Palestine, like we have art, we have our culture, we have our songs, we have many things that we need to share with the world, but we don't have the time to talk about it. There are many things. I'm proud of my farm, and I like to everybody to come.
This is, he said he would like everybody to come. It refers also to the fact that Fareed has many, many olive trees, and they harvest them every year, and it's a tradition that international people from outside come and help every single year. So I think that even today there was somebody who offered and would be interested to come. So I think that this is maybe for everybody here. So this is what he was referring to, right?
Yes. So I mean, we want to stay in our country, and we want people to come and visit Palestine. It's not the opposite. So you are all invited to come to Palestine. By the way, all these things I talked about, but for you as internationals, you can come to Palestine easy. Not easy, but it's accessible. And you can travel. So I cannot go to Jerusalem or to the sea or to Tel Aviv, but you can. So for internationals, safe. It's not like this. It's not safe for Palestinians, unfortunately, but for you it's safe. But you should be prepared to see like a high dose of apartheid and discrimination. So you should be prepared, because I know Europeans are not used for this kind of things, to see that, like, don't visit Hebron for sure, because this is extremely, it's like a high dose of discrimination. It will be there, but generally speaking, you can come, you can eat hummus, falafel, and you can enjoy the Palestinian countryside. The people in the countryside are very generous, and we have this proverb says that the host is the prisoner. No, the guest is the prisoner of the host. So if you come to Palestine, to a Palestinian family like my family, you will be like a prisoner. You are not allowed to eat whatever you want or to live wherever you want. They will take care of you from A to Z. So no worries. And generally speaking, Palestinians are open. They like to talk to foreigners. They like foreigners because we feel that we are in a prison. And anyone who comes, he is visiting us in the prison. So we welcome this, and we feel happy that people are coming and listening and helping. And I will be happy also because I need hands in harvesting my olives. So you are all invited, Nada and the other fellows. Most of the people here, I mean, had already harvested. Nada did. I see Tia there, Ursha, Barbara also, Muhammad Kamal, he was there. So we have 5-6 people in this hall who already did. So you are all invited. I provide accommodation and food as long as you are harvesting. And the harvest starts in October, the mid of October, let's say.
I would like to ask you, how do you see a role or effect of NGOs and international organizations, humanitarian, also like finances from World Bank and so on, affecting the like resistance movement? And if you see, especially in the West Bank, still any progressive forces, especially among the youth, being present, or?
Yeah, this is hard to say it in one sentence, because the NGOs or the international NGOs who are providing aid to Palestinians are not the same. I mean, they are part of them. The humanitarian ones are doing good job, especially in Gaza right now, even though we need more. But you said the World Bank. Oh, no, this is like horrible. No, the World Bank is something. So put it like different a little bit, because the World Bank is not only is not helping, but also is causing damage to the Palestinian economy and to the Palestinians in general, because they want to turn Palestine into like this capitalist country, and so then it's easy for anyone to go to the bank and get a mortgage or a loan, and then you will be suffering in giving back the loan. And so the World Bank was putting big pressure on the Palestinian Authority to facilitate, to make it very easy for people to get like loans, especially for mortgage for young people who wants to start their life. And I think they did, because now in Palestine it's very easy to get a loan. It is very easy. But there are a lot of conditions, and the rates, the interest rate is very high. But other organizations, there are some organizations in Palestine that they have this conditional funding. So if you want to get a fund, you should like sign this paper that you are condemning, that you are against terrorism and you are against Hamas or whatever. And then also you pledge that none of this money will not be given or used in any type of resistance, or they call it terrorism, of course. And even you cannot contract anyone who was convicted with terrorism. So that means that half of the Palestinian population will be out of this. At the same time, there are some organizations who are really providing they are doing good job in the Palestinian, in Palestine. So I cannot answer like yes or no, but there are different types. But also as a farmer, I know that there are some European NGOs, they are pushing, let's say, they give grants for farmers to plant special products and in order to be exported to Europe, like the strawberry and cucumbers, the baby cucumbers and other stuff. That it is, I don't like this idea that farmers will plant to export. This is for me, I don't accept that. I plant to sell. If I have extra, I export. But it is not, because there are some farmers who are dealing with Western NGOs, they give them like a lot of funds just to make like specific with standards, these standards of to export them, while the Palestinians are like having lack of food. So
Okay, I think
I have a question.
we didn't expect that, but okay, go ahead.
Did you eat from these cherries behind you? Wasim, for sure you eat because it's next to you. But I'm asking the other people. So everyone is invited to eat from these cherries. It's from Palestine. No, I'm kidding. It's from Nada's. But I picked them this morning especially for you. So please feel free. And the rest of it will be given to Ursha. if there is something left.
Okay, so with this note, we can stop here, but Fareed will be here, so if anybody wants to talk to him or ask questions, you're free to do so, okay? Thanks very much. Bye-bye.